women are not allowed to marry anyone except a Muslim man. Men are allowed to marry anything. They can marry Jew, they can marry Christian, they can marry whatever. Because the man is the head of the household, the children will be raised Muslim no matter what. It is his job to try to convert his wife. He is supposed to try to convert her if he does marry a Christian woman or a Jew or what have you. In our case as women, we are not allowed to.
Is it okay to date outside of your race or religion? Like, what are you taught uh,
You want to ask?
from a young age? Like, how that works?
Well, within religious standpoints, yes, you're allowed to date people from other race or religions, but they would have to convert. So if a male was to date a female that is Muslim, the male would have to convert to being Muslim. It's you get what I'm saying?
Required.
So yeah, so
So
like
you can date outside your
I can
religion, but you
I
have
can
to
date
bring.
a Chinese woman, a black woman, a white woman, a yellow, anything. But within a religious standpoint, if she's a Christian, she would have to convert to being a Muslim. As the same goes for the woman that is Muslim. If she's dating a man that is Christian or
No.
something else, she
What
would
do you
have
say?
to convert.
What do you
Huh?
say, Amir? Amir's shaking her head. What do you say?
That's what
Women are not allowed to marry anyone except a Muslim man. Men are allowed to marry anything. They can marry Jew, they can marry Christian, they can marry whatever. Because the man is the head of the household, the children will be raised Muslim no matter what. It is his job to try to convert his wife. He is supposed to try to convert her if he does marry a Christian woman or a Jew or what have you. In our case as women, we are not allowed to marry anybody else but a Muslim. He can be black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever he can be, but he has to be Muslim.
Have to be Muslim. Okay. What about
exactly
you, Sayeda?
exactly what I said, but you said it better.
Well, you said dating. You said that she's allowed to date anything and then he can convert. I mean, dating is not a part of our culture anyway. So I mean,
That
that's where I'm like, yeah, for
is
us,
true.
we're not dating. So yeah.
So 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 how does it work? Like protocol wise, you're a man is interested in you, and he approaches your father and asks if he could meet you or just marry you. How does that?
Typically in our culture, and Hadi will know, in our culture, it's like if a man likes a girl, or he'll go to either her family member, cousin, what have you, and say, "Hey, I want to talk to her father." And we all know what that means. We all know what that means. He's interested. And courting can happen, and typically it's in front of the family. They can talk, they can get to know each other, but typically it's not like they can go off and spend a weekend together and then they'll
All
come
right.
back later. It doesn't work that way
So it's
until
like
they're married.
within the family, like they have to be around the family and they can kind of talk and have
You can
conversation.
have a right, you can have like alone time. Like me and my husband, we had alone time. I mean, we went to dinner. We did go to a dinner. We talked and everything, and then I went straight back home. I mean, there was no like, oh, I can stay out a night with him and
Slipping
enjoy. We didn't go to
away.
the clubs and movies. It wasn't like that.
Now, if you didn't like him, could you say no, or if your father and him made an arrangement, you had to go with it?
I have said no to possible. I
You
have
did.
said no.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can say no.
You can. Okay.
So
It's
you
not
see,
like you are
it's not
marrying this
how we
man.
imagine. You
It's
see,
not you are
I
marrying
like
this
it
man.
because it's not how
Yeah.
we imagine that. Because they in reality had the time to get to know each other, to see each other. To know, you know what, I like this person. So they don't go by just the spark or just a rush of like wanting to be intimate with that person. Which is, I see the difference.
Right.
Like you're actually taking the time to those forced dates that nowadays, those, have you heard of the term 90 days that you're supposed to allow men to get to know people? So
Mm-hmm.
you are, in a way, you're doing that unintentionally because you're allowing the time to talk to the person, to be there for them. So
Didn't
in
they,
my culture,
Yeah.
sorry,
didn't
what
they
can I
make
say?
a show
As
called 90 Day Wives or something
Oh, no, no,
about
no, no,
that?
no. That's 90 Day Fiance or something like that. But I'm not talking nowadays. People is saying that, well, according to psychology, it takes 90 days or less for a person to start showing their true colors. They cannot pretend for too long. So that's why you should allow yourself to get to know someone at least for that amount of time.
course.
So that's why a lot of women go by that rule. I'm not saying, like a bunch of women, but some women believe in that because it's true that when you get to know the person, they start showing that, those tendencies, like if he has like anger issues or
yeah.
it's stuff like that, or manipulation, some things that usually men try to hide at first. And not just men, women as well. Women are manipulators as well. So that's the thing. You allow the time to get to know the person. But I see the difference here is that we're not going by the rush, the need of our bodies to, I'm not listening to my body. I'm in reality, I'm here. So that's what I like. But for my culture, I wanted to share that we are allowed to date outside of a race. Is nothing wrong. But it's not normal. It's not normal. Mostly it's the people that have left the country. Otherwise, they stay within because we don't have many, people like moving here to live here. Most of the time, it's people leaving the country to live elsewhere.
Right. So, like, if a tourist came and you met, because I know you said you're a tour guide, right?
I own a business. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome! I didn't know you owned it. Okay.
Yeah, I never said it. Yeah.
You said that. That's awesome. So okay, let's say a tourist group comes and a bunch of businessmen come, and you're talking to one while you're giving them the tour, and you have that spark. The sunset, that spark. So you meet him, and he's a Caucasian or a black guy. Would your family see that as weird? Would they be like, "Is that okay?" Or are they gonna be like, "No, you need to marry somebody who's from El Salvador"?
No, they wouldn't say anything like that. But in reality, for me, it's hard. My work ethics will tell me no. Like, I keep it professional. Don't get me wrong. Like a lot of tourists, I have to go through a whole certification for like that to prevent those things because most of the tourists are men. Most of them are men, and they always will try something. Not everybody, of course, but some men will do. And some of them are like very touchy. They want to, like, in reality, sometimes they even say and express, would you allow me to take you on a date? Things like that. But they confuse things. And I'm like, you have to be very straightforward. Like, this is just business, and either they accept it or, whatever, but it happens. Now, when it comes to my family, if I ever choose someone not from here, no, they wouldn't say anything.
Okay. So they would be accepting of whoever you choose, and it didn't have anything to do with race or religion.
No, it's not for us. We're not racist or like, just stay within your race or like close-minded about it. However, I have dated men outside of El Salvador. Like, he was not from here, and it was more like a learning process on both sides, I would say. But yes, even though my dad's language was not English and he could understand, and he didn't like his tone of voice. Like, sometimes he was talking and my dad would pick like, why is he angry? Like, why is he talking like he's angry? And my dad didn't even
do that too.
My dad didn't even speak English. Like, he understands English, but his tone of voice, this guy was very dramatic and like passionate when he spoke. So sometimes he would sound like he was mad or upset about something. And sometimes I will smile or laugh just to make it, kind of. But I got tired of pretending. I don't have to pretend. He's in reality is acting up right now. Right. So in a matter of 20 days, I was like, no.
This is not gonna happen.